this is to all of my gay friends and my lesbian friends or whatever. I don't know anything about God and how he feels about what you're doing. Here's what I will say. I understand why you teamed up with someone other than what they expect you to team up with. Because people are cruel, and when you finally find someone who doesn't treat you like shit, you love them with all your heart. So I don't blame you at all. If you feel weird about doing some of this stuff, hey, I would too, but I'll tell you this. I keep saying, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. You can ask any gay or lesbian that I've ever met that I've always treated them with dignity and respect. And I'm going to tell you this too. I fought at the Pittsburgh Police Department to get them equal life insurance and equal every single benefit for their spouse as well. And people say, oh, he's kind of chauvinistic. You know what? No, I trained the first class of women Afghan police officer, and Patty Tebow knows it. She was my commander, and she was my contact, and she will verify whatever I say. So guess what? Yeah, I'm not a homophobe like Alan Jackson, and I'm not scared of transgenders. I don't think you should mutilate your body. That's what I'm saying. Get what I'm saying. Just listen to the things I'm saying. That's all. Do you understand? I don't think you understand, so that's why I keep repeating them and saying, I love you with all my heart. Okay? I'm not anything anybody ever says I am. I've always loved everybody. I'm just Robert Sean Detherow, a guy in the backyard in Florida, and I've never not loved someone. But you guys have slept with my wife, you've stolen things from me, you've lied, you've told other people I did things when I didn't do them. You tried to kill me multiple times. And this doesn't have anything to do with being an American, it has to do with being a human being. That's it. Just being a decent human being. My most favorite people in the whole world were the Afghan people, and I saved a whole busload of people by teaching them how to evacuate the bus and return fire and eliminate an enemy. And guess what? They rolled up to a gas station and someone started firing at them, and they knew exactly what to do. And then I left Afghanistan for a little while because there were the Marines. They were coming, and I was going to lead a mission with Colonel Hall. And guess what? He'll never remember me. I've already said that. But when I saw the Afghans there the second time, they were down at the ANCOP building. I trained the first group of the Afghan National Civil Order Police, and they were to uphold their constitution. That's what they were trained to do. And I trained the very first class. So I had to know our constitution inside and out, and I had to know their constitution inside and out. Life is a gift of God and the guaranteed right of every human being. That's how it started out, their Afghan constitution. And that's why Joe Biden left it. You see, it has to do with God and serving him. And Joe Biden does not serve God, and neither does Kamala Harris. They're opportunists, and they always take more. And that's just a fact. It is just a fact. They have always been opportunists, and they always will be. And you will pay for their mistakes. And I am not any kind of psychic. I'm just saying you're paying for their mistakes. You put them in power and you let the weakest people with the weakest brains and the weakest bodies lead the tribe. So whatever we get is going to be our fault. Also, I'm going to say it still stands for Alan Jackson and Sheriff Rick Staley. Both of those things. So I have a lot pending in my life, and I am completely sane. There is nothing wrong with me. And I have enough food and water to last for 5 years at my house. And I'm not threatening anybody. But Alan Jackson, if he shows up, I think he might poo his pants. In fact, he should have already. And Rick, you're next to poo your pants. Yep, because the FBI really is going to come arrest you because you've been doing some dirty stuff. You really have, and they found out about it because Robert Sean Detherow called them and said, I am tired of being a victim of this person. So I called the FBI and they are going to do something. How about that? You're going to be in shackles too, just like my son. In fact, They're going to release my son, and you're going to be in shackles. And I know it's okay to say this over the air because you're not going to believe it until you're pooing your pants. Or maybe you're in a panic on your way here to apologize and talk to me. It's not going to work. I will not come out of my mouth. And the only two people I will talk to are Seth Gruber and Eric Metaxas. And if they want to talk, guess what? You're putting on the clothes because you're the two witnesses. That's right. I tried to tell you before you had to put on the clothes, but now you put on the clothes. You're the two witnesses. And you better be on your way to my house. Because guess what? After Alan either doesn't show up and loses his entire congregation because he has no heart and no chest, or he does show up and I owe him something. So when he gets here, I'm going to give it to him. And it's called righteous indignation and retribution. So those are the two things he's going to get. He knows what they are because he reads the King James Bible. It's a soft version, but they still have those things in there, and he knows it. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not pointing at you. I am pointing at Almighty God, and I pray every day, and I know how to pray. And you don't, Alan. You think you know how to pray, but you don't. And I know how to pray, and guess what? There is nobody stronger than the Lord our God. And so when you get here, I've been doing push-ups for months and months and months. And I kept telling you, guess what? My body, the lower half doesn't work. It really doesn't. It's really crappy right around my waist. But I'll tell you what does work. My upper body, it works great. And you ask anybody, I'm strong as an ox. See, that's the funny part, Alan. And you told me exactly where your weak spot is. It's in your face. Remember, you were sledding and you got hurt? Everybody in the world knows that. So now you have to make a decision. Does your whole congregation leave you and you end up penniless, and your mom and your wife have nothing, and so they end up starving, and your children, of course, are just totally mortified by now. They'll never speak to you again because now they realize you really are the Antichrist. See? Yeah, that's how it works, Alan. You tried to ruin America, and you really are the Antichrist. So I'll tell you this. There is nothing wrong with me at all. I'm totally sane, and I will sit here and read my King James Bible. I have enough water. I actually don't even need electricity, but I pay my bills on time, and I'm pretty good about that. And I'll just mind my business and sit in the backyard in Florida forever. That's what I'll do. No big deal. But if Alan shows up, or Rick shows up, or if someone shows up, as I asked, if you guys start showing up, maybe we can go down and get my son out. If not, I'm not going to worry about anything anymore. I'm just going to sit here. My wife, she hasn't been home in 3 days. That's right. Just about 3 days. And when she comes back, she is going to tell me I did the right thing because I stood up for her honor and the Lord Almighty and my family. And it's in the book, Alan, and it's in the book, Rick, and I kept telling you to read it. I kept telling you to read it. It doesn't matter. Anything else I ever said in my whole life does not matter except for this statement right here. I am not a danger to myself, and I am not a danger to any other human being in the whole world except for Alan Jackson if he chooses to fight me. He challenged me to a fight by calling my wife names. See, he challenged me to a fight. I didn't challenge him, so I told him to come to my house. Why should I be inconvenienced for his fat, obese mouth? That is terrible. So I'm not going to be inconvenienced by Alan, but he's either going to lose his congregation or he's going to come here because he has no chest. Either way, he's probably pooped his pants by now. So let's get past that. Rafnesh Raman, you have a special treat coming to you, buddy, because I have pictures of everything that ever happened with my wife. In fact, here, come here. I hired a private investigator to follow you guys around. I surely did. Come on. And I love that man. I do. And I'll never give his name. I've kept this box for years and years, and it's every Polaroid that I ever have. And right here is the videotape that the private investigator gave me of you guys in the BART parking ride and some other places. Yeah, wow, we wired your house and everything. I got it. So you know what? That'll be sitting out here too. And the dude who's married to her, I feel sorry for you. You're probably a decent guy, or were. So guess what? Here's how this ends. I got 10 songs on loop. If you complain about the noise, I fought for this country. I have a right to play it during the day, between the hours of whatever that you communists limited my freedom for. And other than that, all my stuff that I have from my military service isn't worth a damn thing. And there's a copy of the Constitution over there. I burned the original one I had, found it in a thrift store, burned it, and read, and Sandy witnessed it. But you know what? There's another copy. It ain't gonna last, because it isn't worth the paper it's written on. It's really not. All this stuff is free to anybody that ever wanted it. If you ever wanted to pretend to be a military guy, so is everybody else in the military. So go ahead and you can take my uniform. If you want to pretend to be a policeman, you can pretend to be a policeman, because everybody in the military and everybody in police is pretending. There's not one damn man. Here, Red, come here. Yep. Where are those 3 pieces of paper? I guess it doesn't matter. I put out a call for every man in America to be here within 3 days. I surely did. I did that last night. So that was Good Friday. And I see there isn't anybody, because I got crucified, right? Not one person showed up. Love God with all your heart and love your neighbors as yourself. There is nothing wrong with me. I'm completely sane. I don't need a doctor, and I don't need your help. If you didn't show up here in a couple days, I don't ever want to see you again anyway, so it doesn't matter what I say. You understand where I'm coming from? I surely hope you do, because you can have at it and nobody's going to care.